Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Graham.
And welcome to our first home.
Come on in, but take off your shoes.
Welcome to our newest Homeworthy series called Our First Home, where we meet young lovebirds who are building their first nest together.
Now we're the Taylors.
We're married.
These couples have both charming love stories and lovely homes.
It just feels great to be not only building a home, but building a life together.
So prepare to be swept off your feet by these incredible pairs and the places they call home. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Natalie Paquin. I'm a local realtor in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm also a content creator and a DIY designer.
Hi, my name is Graham Pangrass, and I work for Burkholtz Homes as an assistant site supervisor.
And welcome to our first home. We are in our first home in Edmonton, Alberta. Style-wise, I would call it your grandma's eclectic cottage.
Wow.
I think that best describes the home, but realistically, it's a 1949 wartime home. It's super basic, but we've spent a lot of years putting character back into it. So yeah, I would say it's a wartime home that we've converted into your grandma's cottage. We probably looked at like 10 or 15 houses.
Yeah.
And we just fell in love with this neighborhood. It's an older, mature neighborhood near the university, and it has massive oak trees down the street. And although it was like 50 shades of beige inside and painted all sorts of brown and ugly, we just felt like we could see ourselves living here. And it just felt so cute and comfortable.
It was definitely very cozy.
Yeah,
first time we walked through.
We could picture all the renovations we wanted to do, and it felt like us right off the bat. So I think when we walked in, we knew right away it was going to be. Yeah, we had seen so many houses, and we tried to picture ourselves in all these different houses. And as soon as we walked into this one, I think we were like literally still in the entryway. We just looked at each other and was like, this feels right. This feels like it could be us.
Could be us, yeah.
It feels great to be making a home together.
Yeah.
It feels
natural, but at times challenging. Mm-hmm. Definitely had a lot of character building over the last couple of years.
I feel like we've learned, like being a newer couple when we bought our first home, I feel like we learned so much about each other.
Absolutely.
With renovating and building.
And our limits and what we can handle.
How to push each other. And it just feels great to be not only building a home, but building a life together and something we can look back on and say, like, we did that. And
without taking each other's heads off. I think that's the end goal.
We still love each other, so we must be doing something. I think our first date was the day after we met. I think we met up at like a coffee shop, and Graham was trying to be super cool and super casual and was trying to be this like bad guy, and I was just seeing right through it. And it was a pretty short date. Yeah, like an hour. But I thought he was the funniest guy in the world, so I couldn't get enough. So, how do you remember it?
I remember you falling in love with me, day one. Obviously. I mean...
I figured, yeah.
Our proposal was 3 years in, and we actually went to Peru together. And I'd been planning to propose to her for probably 6 months beforehand. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it on Machu Picchu, on top of the cliff overlooking the ruins. And I had group chatted my sisters the night before and CC'd her into it, ruining the surprise.
Being like, I'm going to propose to Natalie tomorrow. And we were standing in the same hotel room together.
Yeah.
And I just opened my phone and I was like, Graham, like...
And me being so embarrassed,
I just stormed out of the room.
I stormed out of the room and didn't end up proposing to her at that time.
Yeah.
I did it 2 days later in the Park of Love in Peru, Lima. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of funny. And for our wedding, I mean, we kept it super small.
Yeah, we thought about forever having a big wedding or a small wedding, and it got close to our 5th year anniversary, and I think it was like a month before, and we were like, how about we just elope on our anniversary?
Yeah.
And we planned this beautiful little elopement on the streetcar here in Edmonton. I think we planned it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was so cheap, but it turned out to be so beautiful. Like the whole day was a surprise. We've never been on this streetcar. We've never planned any sort of event or wedding, and it ended up being
An awesome,
the best day ever.
An awesome night.
So
Yeah. This is our living room, and this is where we spend most of our time, I'd say.
this is definitely the hub of our home. It's where we spend all of our time. It's also where we spent the brunt of our design work on, trying to get it right and get the right
And most of our money.
right feeling, get the right vibes going. We really like a collected vintage look with everything. So just about every piece in our living room has some sort of story to it, whether it's getting a custom coffee table done or a custom sofa that fits perfectly in our living room. It's really been a labor of love. Some of my favorite pieces in our living room would be our rug, which is a 1908 Turkish rug. I actually won it on an eBay auction, which I was so surprised I even did. Had no clue what it really looked like. Online is totally different, but it showed up and it's beautiful. It's been actually probably the staple of our living room design.
And we've gone through probably
What, 20
odd rugs to find the right one. And
So we're really happy we found this one. We also really love collecting vintage furniture. Some of our favorite pieces are our apothecary cabinets.
yeah.
They also seem to be the crowd favorite. So this one here, which we absolutely love, I think we found it on Marketplace. It was painted like a highlighter blue, and I think I spent just about 20 hours refinishing it, getting it down to its natural wood stain. We even left some of the white paint for a bit of patina effect.
Yeah.
And then, we just got this vintage Danish chair reupholstered. Graham's Danish, so it was really important to us to incorporate, some sort of history with, his background and stuff.
My heritage, and honestly, Danish is just my style.
Yeah, Danish never goes out of style.
It never does.
We got a local company, Pepper's Upholstery, to reupholster it, and it turned out perfect for our space. Other than that, we've just focused on making it a really cozy vibe. Lots of wood tones.
Yeah.
I obviously have a love for marble. I think it adds such a great staple to any room.
Yeah.
I think it bounces off really nicely with our fireplace and chairs, and obviously somebody really
Enjoys these Sherpa chairs.
really enjoys the chairs. She's pretty much either here in the guest bedroom 24/7.
What we're doing usually here is probably working. Either Natalie's doing real estate deals, or I'm working on my course. We do like to watch television, eat popcorn.
Yeah.
More me, so extra butter, please.
Just about every night is spent on the couch, whether it's one of us working or both of us snuggled up binging Netflix. This is the main focus of the living room here. It's not a very big space, so we really focus on having a nice comfy couch, and that's definitely where we spend probably all of our time.
Yeah.
And now we would love to show you guys our kitchen. Our kitchen actually used to be one of the 2 bedrooms in our main floor.
Yeah.
Our dining room and our kitchen used to be 2 separate bedrooms with some closets in the middle.
With terrible paint colors.
Yeah, awful paint colors. We called it the blood room. It was just the worst shade of red all the way up to the ceiling. It took probably 5 coats of paint just
To cover it up.
cover.
Yeah.
But basically, when we first walked through our house, we knew right away that this house was begging for a more open concept. So when we did our first walkthrough, we had a brief conversation of what if we tore out the main floor bedrooms. Which
at the time I wasn't a fan of.
No.
I'll just add that because it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but I had a vision and I was trying to pitch to Graham, like, just imagine walking through the door and seeing this stunning kitchen, whatever color it was going to be at the time, being able to cook in the kitchen, entertain in the living room, and we decided to go for it. And it's honestly been probably one of the favorite rooms in the house. Anytime somebody comes over, we're always gathered in the kitchen. We spend a lot of time figuring out layout and where we wanted our appliances. We also spend a lot of time deciding paint colors for our cabinets.
Which, I mean, has changed over the years.
A ton of times, yeah. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know it's seen a ton of different colors, from white to wood to half green, half white to all green now, which I think we finally
settled on
both liking the green. Yeah. It's even changed from multiple shades of green, I think.
Yep.
But I think we finally nailed it this time. But
yeah, it looks great.
We've
put a lot of hours into the kitchen.
We're skip the dishes people, so I don't think we rarely use a kitchen, but it's nice for show, and it's nice to have, and it's nice to entertain, and we've spent a lot of time fine tweaking things. We've replaced the light fixtures a couple times, trying to get them just right. 7. And we've gone with a really nice textured backsplash. I think it adds such a nice European feel to it, so we really wanted a mix of vintage and a little bit modern flair. We have kind of some older elements like ceiling medallions, but mixed with some more polished modern things, and I think it's made a really nice mix for the space. And you can't go wrong with throwing a vintage rug in your kitchen. Layers everything down.
Yeah, runners are always worth a dime. That's what I've learned.
Yeah. The last piece of our kitchen, and probably arguably my favorite, is this vintage wash stand that I got off Marketplace. I think I literally spent maybe $20 on it. I wasn't sure how I felt about it. The marble's really, really aged, and I think it honestly lived in our garage or our basement for just about 2 years.
Yeah.
I just didn't have a place for it, but I really loved the way it looked and how old it was. When we redid our kitchen, I took this measurement, and I remember just a spark in my head being like, I honestly think that might be perfect here. And it's honestly ended up being kind of our landing place for mostly junk, but it's nice and clean.
Keys,
wallet, phones. But we have, a couple pictures of us here, some candles going all the time, and it's actually really extended our kitchen in a nice way. Sometimes we put some baking bowls on there, and it's just ended up being a really nice vintage touch to what I would say is a bit more modern of a kitchen. So yeah, I would say that's probably one of my favorite pieces of the kitchen.
Right over here is our beautiful dining room that, oddly enough, we actually don't have a lot of meals at the table because the couch is too comfortable.
It is, yeah. Neither of us do much cooking, so this is mostly just for card games, board games, maybe
definitely
a glass
big fan of
wine.
Catans in this household.
Catan nights are a huge thing around this table. That's the great thing about apothecary cabinets, is they're great for storing all of your board games. So it's made really easy access to enjoy a nice night with some wine around the dining table.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this wall, actually, it used to be all built-ins that Natalie had done previously. And I had the nice surprise of coming home from work one day and seeing that it was completely abolished and thrown in the backyard in a giant waste pile.
That's usually how renos go around here.
Yeah.
It'll be a great idea. I'll think it over for a couple days in my head.
She gets a rush of ambition, and I come home from work.
And it's done.
Utterly surprised and shocked.
But my rule is, if there's no mess to see, then it's like it never happened. And how could you ever be upset if you...
That's true. As long as you clean up after yourself, I don't care.
So anyways, I wanted a bit more of a simple vibe in here. We found this amazing late 1800s general store counter, and I thought because we have such a big wall here, it would make the perfect addition. Also, it's just nice to have some closed storage in here, display some of our artwork. It's really opened up the space in a really nice way.
Absolutely.
And I think we're able to relax a little bit differently in here. I know Graham has a favorite part of this dining room.
Yeah, it's my golf bag. I was lucky enough to have it on display. I'm an avid fan, and it's nice. Natalie gets every Tuesday off for me, so she's grateful for it too. It's kind of like a double blessing.
It's being a bit of a smaller house with a lack of storage space is, unfortunately for me, where those get to live, but...
They look nice. I know what you're thinking.
I think from all of our game nights here, we've definitely learned Graham's a really sore loser.
Oh, and an alleged cheater, but they've never been able to prove it.
Yeah, we prove it every time. But Game nights can get pretty rowdy around here. We
They get a
usually
little
do
heated.
my sister and her husband or some friends, and it's really nice. We've had a couple different dining tables, and we found this vintage one actually works perfect for game night with the way that all the chairs angle in. But we've had some riots for game night. We've had some trembling relationships by the end of it.
Oh,
We've
absolutely.
had a lot
It's-
of crying, a lot of yelling, a lot of keeping score.
From them, because they always lose. So it's just
Like I said, alleged cheater on game night.
what gives a home soul and feel is, I think, the people that you put in it. We've been lucky enough that we have had family members staying with us for extended periods, and I feel like the closer you are with the people inside the home is the difference between having a lackluster, doesn't feel cozy, to I could stay here for the rest of my life.
Yeah, we were really set on building a house that felt really warm and welcoming, but it was so rewarding when all of a sudden we were realizing our house is kind of the hub for all of our family to come to. And that was a goal we didn't know that we even had when renovating this. And every time all of our family is over here, it just feels so full and so rich. And we always have a moment that we look at each other and go like, this is what this was all for. And I think that's when you really feel that soul's in your house.
In your house, yeah.
And right off the dining room, we have our newly finished guest bathroom. This was going into our kitchen, which is now our guest bedroom. So this was actually the entirety of what was our main floor bathroom. And when we tore out the main floor, we had this idea of maybe we could close off this hallway and get a bit bigger of a bathroom, actually get a shower in here, which is really nice. Although I'm pretty sure it's the world's smallest shower, it does the trick, it gets you clean, but we did spend a lot of time going back and forth between layout of this space and what kind of finishes we want. I'm not usually one for doing an all-white design, but I feel like this space was craving it. So I ended up doing something a little fun here and did floor-to-ceiling tile. My dad was so nice and helped me tile this entire bathroom. I think we tiled for a week on end till 1 a.m. in the morning, and we were so happy with how it looks. And then I actually found this vanity on Marketplace. What I really loved about it was our house is a 1949 house. This vanity is from 1950. So I felt like it was really true to the era of the house. All I had to do was actually paint the base gold. We got the plumber to hook it up. We added a gold faucet. And I probably get the most compliments on this vanity, and I love that it's just a one-of-a-kind thing. It was only $60 on Marketplace, which I feel like is such a score. And yeah, so we paired it with a really nice trifold mirror, this ledge for storage. The one thing in this bathroom is that there's zero storage, but we've made use of it with wicker baskets and what we can. Thankfully, it's just a guest bathroom, so it does the trick, but we absolutely love this space, so. And now if you'll follow me, we'll go into our guest bedroom, which is arguably one of the cutest spaces in the house.
And this is our guest bed. Previously, our kitchen.
Yes.
Believe it or not, this was probably the worst part of our reno.
Yeah, definitely.
Relocating a kitchen isn't fun, but it's definitely rewarding when you're done. You know, at first, this paint color wasn't really it for me.
It's bold, like it's neutral.
I was like, you look like you're in a cup of hot chocolate.
But like, what a great feeling.
It's grown on me, for sure. And over, in January, we got pretty sick, and I spent a good week in this bed by choice. And it's honestly the comfiest and coziest room, I think, in the house.
The comfiest mattress. Anybody who stays here is like, I could live in this room forever. So I was a little jealous when we were sick and Graham was down here and I was up here because he got the comfier mattress. But it's grown to be one of the sweetest little guest bedrooms. I'm not sure if it quite qualifies as a legal size bedroom. It's that small.
Measurement requirements, yeah.
But now that it's a bedroom, we have no clue how it ever functioned as a kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't even remember us ever even trying to cook when this was a kitchen, but it's ended up being quite the renovation. We installed a new window, which you did.
Yeah, that was a great after work project that took me till sundown.
I thought it would be like a 2-hour project, and unfortunately it was a lot harder than it was. And I think Graham was out here till midnight or 1 in the morning trying to put this bigger window in here.
When rain's in the forecast and you put a hole in the side of your house, you guys kind of have to be on the ball a little bit. Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's ended up being one of our favorite rooms in the house.
Natalie definitely is the voice in my head when it comes to what I should be doing in the house. But we've done a lot of work structurally. I put in a structural beam, which is engineer proofed. I'll just say that for the record. And we've added patio doors in the back, and we'll be building a deck this spring, which is super exciting.
We did the cabinet.
We've replaced probably 80% of our windows.
Yeah.
And waterproofed, and did a lot of outdoor work too, which was tedious at times, and probably 25 gallons of paint, which is not my favorite thing to do, but hey, I'll do it.
But you do the hard work.
Yeah, I do the physical labor. I'm a pack mule. It's great. It's a great workout.
I wouldn't say there's been like design wars, but we definitely have a very different design personally.
I'm very mid-century modern contemporary. And Natalie's nice enough to give me 3 options of her 3 favorites.
Every single thing we do, whether it's paint colors or furniture, it'll be like, here's 3 that I have pre-selected. What's your favorite?
Exactly. And you know what? Usually I'd say 60% of the time we land on the same idea. But for some of them, there's a little bit of battles for sure.
For a lot of things, it's like me giving ideas and Graham being like, I don't know if that'll work, that might not look good, and then we do them anyways, and he's like, this is the best thing ever, this looks amazing. So a lot of it is just trust the
process.
Other.
Yeah. And if you guys want to follow us upstairs, we're gonna go see the primary bathroom.
And this is our primary bathroom.
A lot of hours spent in here.
A lot of hours spent renovating in here. A lot of hours spent in here.
2 different things, apparently.
Typical husband stuff. But this was such a labor of love. This was one of the last rooms we've renovated, and we really took our time.
From beefing up the floors with added 2x6 to adding 3/4 inch plywood, to tiling, to this beautiful box trim that Natalie did in a day. Again, another thing I come home to and it's completely done. Looking amazing.
It was really important to us to incorporate certain design elements. We wanted this bathroom to feel brand new, but still like it could have always been here. One of the really important things to us was we found this vintage clawfoot tub on Marketplace for $75. It was absolutely deteriorated, but I could tell that the original enamel was still intact. So I think we hauled it out of somebody's backyard.
Oh yeah.
Me and Graham in the middle of the night.
Halfway across the city.
Did not realize clawfoot tubs are like 400 pounds.
Yeah.
And then the whole other feat of getting it up the narrow staircase and into its
We had a lot of help. Luckily.
Thankfully we had a lot of family able to help us, but we had to reconfigure the entire joist system to support this super heavy tub.
I still don't trust it with water and me sitting in there, but it's more of a show pony than
It is beautiful.
Else.
It's fully functional. I think it is safe, but we absolutely love that we made it work to be in here. I think it looks like it could have been original to the house. I think it pairs really nicely with, I always had a dream of having a glass vintage cabinet with all of our towels and our bubble bath stuff. So I think it works really nice. And then we actually made this little side table. When we ordered our custom coffee table, the original slab broke in shipping. And because it was so crazy heavy and expensive, they told us that we could keep the broken slab. And so we actually got it repurposed into this little side table. And I think it looks so cute. I think it works perfectly. I think it pairs well with all the wood in here.
Ironically enough, when Natalie was gluing it together, she didn't wait for me to flip it upside down.
And I broke it again. So you can see it adds character though. It adds character, but yeah, we just don't try and bump that one too much. I'm not sure how stable it is. But apart from, like I said, in the kitchen, throwing down a vintage rug is good for just about any space. Yeah. We actually found our vanity once again on Marketplace. It was an old dresser that was this really orangey kind of oak wood. It's all false drawers, so you actually get really good storage in here. But I spent 10 hours?
Probably reworking it, and then we had to refurbish the top and cut out
sinks.
certain elements of each drawer to make sure that we can get the slab in and drop the sinks in. But that was a fun project.
It's ended up being an absolute fan favorite on Instagram. Anytime I post it, everyone is always asking where we got this. And I love that we can say that it's truly a custom piece of furniture.
Absolutely.
It turned out even better than I imagined it. And we paired it with these really cute vintage mirrors that we got, I think, at an estate sale for $10.
We did. Yeah. That was
So
funny.
this entire bathroom, although it's beautiful and expensive and all this, it actually didn't cost us a whole lot of money because we thrifted everything and we
Got good deals on
customized everything, and thanks to Marketplace, we sourced just about every piece in here. One of our favorite parts of this primary bathroom is our shower here. We doubled the size of our shower. It used to be just a single stall and it was the world's worst shower. So a big important thing for us was to have a beautiful spa-like shower. We actually ended up incorporating some green tile to match our kitchen color. We almost nailed it exactly to our kitchen color. I feel like it makes the house look so cohesive and nice. We also paired it with this wonderful marble tile. Thankfully, my dad owns a tile company, so he's been such a good hand, and for one, sourcing it for us. Two, he spent so many late nights here installing it for us. Same with the rest of the tile in here. And he actually did a really great job suggesting some pairings for us. So we absolutely love the way that it turned out. A little bit of pattern on a shower floor goes a long way. To hide one of the most unsightly parts of the bathroom, la toilette, I always recommend just put some really nice artwork above the toilet. It takes it from a bit of an unsightly view to, I don't know, something worth looking at. It's made a really nice corner with the box trim we put and a nice little sconce. So that's always what I recommend is when in doubt, hang some art up. I think for other couples on their first home buying journey is to just take your time.
Yeah.
We were so eager to live together and start this process that I don't think we truly enjoyed house hunting together and really looking at like a future life together in the house. And we got really lucky that we found this house and it feels so perfect to us. But
Yeah.
I think for any couple starting a home buying journey, I would definitely say to just take your time and really enjoy every milestone. Enjoy
Exactly.
celebrating when you put an offer in. Enjoy celebrating the day you get your keys and move in. Enjoy celebrating every single reno along the way. I think a lot of it we just flew through, and now looking back, we sit there and be like, oh, I wish we really just slowed down.
Yeah, and what I would add is just make sure you do it right the first time so you don't have to tear out anything you've already done. You know, like if you're debating between two styles, make sure you
Take
like
your
that
time
style the
deciding,
most because,
The amount of things we've re-renovated in this house.
oh my God.
But it all adds to like the story and the process.
Absolutely.
Nobody gets it right on their first try.
No, that is true. That
Or
is
their
true. Or fifth.
And on our way to our primary bedroom is our tiny little office space here. This used to be what would be considered our closet space. It was really awful, and we ended up reworking this to be more linen storage, a nice little desk area. I work a lot from home, so it's nice to have a place for my printer, linen storage, all the good stuff. Now, my favorite room of the house is our primary bedroom. Although it's crazy, it's a lot of print and it's really busy. We absolutely love it.
The print's amazing,
Yeah.
honestly.
I was a little worried how Graham would feel. We toyed for probably 2 or 3 years being like, do we wallpaper? Do we just paint it? Graham was a little against wallpaper at first, but as soon as he saw like half of it done, we both agreed that we love it. It feels like a garden in here. The coolest part about the wallpaper is my friend Tiona, who owns Wallpapers by T, actually custom made this print for us.
One of one.
Yeah,
So,
nobody else has this print.
super cool.
I mean, you can buy it now on our website, but we are so excited that it's just ours and it feels exactly like us. We spent forever trying to find a wallpaper that really felt, for one, it's hard to find one that you could cover the entire room with and not get sick of.
Yeah.
So we were a little nervous about that, but
Something we both enjoy, too.
yeah, we wanted
And
it to not be super feminine or super masculine, to kind of be true to both of us. And yeah, Tiona absolutely nailed it. We are over the moon with how it looks. I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think it works so beautiful. We've always been more of a neutral bedding kind of person, and I think it just, you don't need much in your bedroom when you have such a crazy wallpaper.
Yeah.
So although we don't have a ton of furniture in here, we've incorporated some antique pieces we found along the way, from this dresser to our mirror to our nightstands to even our bed frame. And we absolutely love it. It feels so serene.
So cozy.
So cozy.
I had the best sleep of my life last night after it was installed. And I want to say, if you want to bash it, like it's not for you, try it out and see how you sleep, because
It felt like a garden in here. So.
my God, was it great.
A great part about decorating a room is artwork, and although with the angled ceilings in here, it's made it a little hard to figure out where to put artwork. We found a couple spots for some vintage paintings, and I think they toy so nicely with the colors in the wallpaper. I love vintage things, obviously, so we for sure wanted to incorporate a lot of vintage touches in here. One of them being this light fixture we imported from France. I think it's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
But we absolutely love it. I think it pairs so great with everything. It's really given just such an earthy garden vintage vibe.
Yeah.
I know that's a hand or mouthful, but
Even though it's the busiest room in the house, it's the most cozy and relaxing.
busy pattern-wise. It's the busiest room pattern-wise. We're pretty simple people. We haven't used a lot of pattern around the house, and so we really wanted to go bold with this room, and I think it paid off.
I think you nailed it.
I think for me, home is your landing place. It's when you've had a really bad day at work or a really just hard day in general. It's somewhere that you can go and actually just shut off. It's not somewhere where you feel like you have this giant list of things to do, even if you do, which we
Even
always
though we do, yeah.
To just be able to come home and shut off and unwind with your person and your pets. And I think that's what home is to me, is just being your safe place. It doesn't feel like you're, sometimes even in the city you're in or anywhere in the world, you're just home.
Like Natalie said, it doesn't matter what kind of day I had. If I come home and my dog's tail is wagging and my wife's sitting on the couch answering emails, it just makes me feel safe and rewarded. Yeah, home is happiness for sure.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.